Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be trying out a brand new foundation that as soon as it came in the mail, I knew I wanted to film this video as soon as possible. So bareMinerals actually launched a new foundation, and if you guys don't know, I have loved bareMinerals for so many years, and especially their loose mineral original foundation. I know so many of you guys have also enjoyed that for years. They basically created an original liquid foundation based off of that foundation that they created in 1995. That's what it says on this packaging here. So they sent this to me. I have to try it. I don't know. I really find that bareMinerals complexion products work really well for me. I mean, I just recently told you guys about this product again right here, the bareMinerals Complexion Rescue, which I've had in my collection and I've used consistently for over probably 6 years, maybe even like 7 years, I don't know, since it launched. So I'm a huge fan of bareMinerals complexion products, as you guys already know. So let's just take a look at what this is. So this is the new original liquid mineral foundation and concealer. Now the concealer doesn't launch until next year, but they sent it anyway. So here is the PR package. They sent me 3 shades of the original liquid foundation and then 3 shades of the original liquid mineral concealer. Now I'm pretty sure that the foundation is available right now. I can't find a date on here. Sometimes they have launch dates and I can't find one. I'll have all this stuff like listed and linked down below. But here's the packaging of the liquid original mineral foundation. I think it has like a twist cap. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, so it's a twist cap and it has a pump. It says to shake well before use. I'll just read you a couple of the things that they have in this paper before we try it on, but I really want this video to be more about the wear test. So I'm going to try to apply it quickly so that I can get to my wear test. This says that it has a mineral complex that refines your skin's texture, an olive-derived squalene, which nourishes and hydrates and helps protect the skin against moisture loss. It has peptide and prickly pear extract, and then a mineral-based SPF, which is what I love about bareMinerals products. The mineral SPF is key for me. I have very acne-prone skin, and I find that certain chemical sunscreens can tend to irritate that. By the way, we have a massive planet on my face right now because of masks. These keep showing up everywhere my mask hits my face. I'm sure you guys are experiencing some maskne as well. So, you know, it might be good to see how it covers something like this. So we'll try to look at the positive side when it comes to that. It comes in 30 shades. It says with 11 shade intensities and 3 undertones. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's just get started. I'm going to see if this shade is going to work for me. I think it will. This is the same shade that I wear in the mineral powder foundation. It's fairly light 03, and I'm assuming that the shades are going to be the same as the original foundation. So it says shake well before applying. Okay. Pump on the back of your hand. 1 pump for medium coverage, 2 pumps for medium full. I'm going to start with 1 pump just so that I can kind of see the coverage difference. Then we're going to go ahead and dot with fingertips onto cheeks, forehead, and chin. Okay, so this consistency is actually very interesting. Here's what it looks like on the back of my hand. It has almost like a whipped feel to it, but it's also kind of runny in a way. So we're going to do what it says and just dot this all over the skin. I always need extra coverage on the sides of my face just because that's where I get redness, but we're going to put it everywhere. Okay, and then blend outward in short strokes using the smoothing face brush or your fingertips. I'm going to try it with the smoothing face brush, and then I'm probably going to press it in with a sponge. We'll have to see how that works. But it says for best results, apply to clean, moisturized skin. So I didn't use a primer. I wasn't planning on using a primer. I usually don't when it comes to trying a foundation for the first time, just because I really want to see what the foundation itself is capable of. So I'm just using the brush to kind of smooth this out. And I feel like the coverage is nice. For me, as of right now, the smoothing brush did a good job spreading things out, but I always use a sponge when it comes to any foundation. So I'm gonna go ahead and press over everything with a sponge. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm noticing how fresh it looks on the skin. I will say I personally probably will want a little bit more coverage, which I'm sure the concealer may offer as well. I'm just going to put 1 more pump on the back of my hand, and I'm actually going to just apply that with my sponge to add a little more coverage to the cheek area. I'm going to try to conceal this blemish a little more. It's going to be pretty impossible to do, but we're going to try, and then I'm going to take what's left and kind of add more coverage to the center of the face. I'm also making sure to blend the excess down the neck. I am using the brush for that. Okay, so there's my complexion after doing about 2 layers of that foundation. I still feel like it gives a nice natural looking coverage, but it still looks like skin. I have noticed that in some areas where it started to set already and I tried to layer on top, it kind of started to bunch up a little bit. So that's something that I will pay attention to next time I try to apply this. Sometimes it's hard with a brand new formula to figure out exactly what the texture is like and how it behaves and how it dries down and everything, but overall I feel like it gives a nice luminosity to the skin. I do feel like it's kind of clinging in this area here. My skin is pretty dry right now in that area, and honestly, I've worn foundation the past couple of days and I've noticed that same thing. So it might not be the bareMinerals foundation, but I do want to point it out just in case you are like me and you have drier patches on the skin. It does seem to be clinging to that right now. Okay, so about the concealer, the original liquid mineral concealer retails for $25. It comes in 17 shades. They sent me 3 shades to try. I think I'm going to use 2 shades, one that's lighter for under the eyes and one that matches my skin tone. So let's go ahead and try this. This says it has skin transforming ingredients with white water lily extract. It says if you're using liquid foundation, so the original liquid foundation, apply the concealer after. And if you're using the original powder foundation, apply this concealer before. I'm going to be using the shade Fair 1C for underneath the eyes, just to brighten things up a little bit. And I'm going to take my Real Techniques concealer brush and just kind of blend this out. I want to say this was the lightest shade in the range. I could be wrong, but if it is, I would say that these run a little bit deep. So just keep that in mind if you're interested in this. I'm just going to go ahead and press that in with my sponge after using the brush. I will say, it gives really, really nice coverage. I'm going to go ahead and brush what's left on the brush onto the eyelids to conceal. I'm also going to apply that on the chin, a little down the center of the nose, and then on the forehead to brighten. And I'm going to do the same thing where I just kind of buff that out with my brush first. And then I'm going to take my sponge and just press that in. Okay, and then I'm going to use the shade Fair 1N. This is a little bit of a deeper shade, and I feel like that's going to be perfect for blemishes, so I'm going to use that to just conceal any blemishes on the face that need more coverage. And I'm going to blend that out with my brush, just kind of stippling it first, and then I'm going to press that into the skin with the same sponge. Okay, so here's the complexion with the new Liquid Original foundation and Liquid Original concealer. I like the finish that this gives. I like the feel of it on my skin right now. We're gonna have to see how it wears because again, there's just certain areas that I feel like it grabbed onto. But honestly, again, that could be my skin right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly do the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna be using other products that I'm very familiar with. I'm gonna be using my Thrive Cosmetics setting powder to set the under eyes and the face. That's just a tried and true for me. And all the other products I'm gonna use on the complexion, I've already used before. So I'll just have them listed down below. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish up my makeup off camera so we can get to a wear test. And I will see you guys in just a little bit to see how everything looks with the rest of my makeup applied. So I'll see you guys in just a little bit. Okay, so I'm back with the rest of my makeup on. Again, I will have everything linked down below if you want to know what else I'm wearing today. But once I got all my makeup on, I didn't feel like anything disturbed the liquid foundation or concealer. Like the powder went on really nice. Everything blended out really nicely as well. So we're gonna just do our wear test. I will say I still feel like in certain areas the foundation looks like it's sitting on top of the skin. I don't know if it's, again, just my skin, or I did use like a serum today, and I know it said with the foundation they recommend just using it on moisturized skin alone. So that's the only thing that I'm noticing right now that could go south, just depending. But again, we'll do a wear test because sometimes, especially with bareMinerals complexion products, I feel like because of the mineral quality, at least in the original, sometimes throughout the day when it melts into the skin even more, it looks better and better. So hopefully in those areas things will improve. If not, then it is what it is. But let's go ahead and start our wear test. So it's currently 3:12 p.m. and I'm going to wear this as long as I possibly can. Hopefully we can get a pretty solid wear test today. But overall, you know, I really like how fresh my complexion looks, and it feels so lightweight on the skin. It feels like I'm not really wearing foundation at all, which I really, really like. So yeah, let's just see how this wears throughout the day, and then, you know, we'll get my final opinion based off of my first impressions and my first wear test. test. So let's go ahead and do my first check-in in natural light by my window, and then I'm gonna wear this as long as I possibly can. So I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay, so here I am by my window in my beauty room right after I just closed out that part of the video. So this is after the foundation is freshly applied. I feel like it's interesting because besides my blemish on the cheeks right here, I feel like my skin looks really nice and even, and there's like a radiance to it, which I really love. But then when I look up close in a mirror, there's still like those patchy spots that I'm not super happy about. So we'll see how this ends up wearing. I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that there are so many patchy areas. I'm hoping it's not the foundation because some parts of my face look really, really nice, and then some parts it's just clinging really badly. So it could be my skin. Honestly, I have no idea. But regardless, there's like good things about it that I'm noticing and then things that I'm really not enjoying already. So I'm hoping that as we wear it throughout the day, maybe things will improve, but who knows? I'll keep you guys posted. So this is what things look like right now. We'll see how this wears. So yeah, I'll see you guys in my next check-in to see how things are holding up. All right, you guys, so I'm back in the studio and it is 11:16 p.m. I've been wearing this for about 8 hours now, and as you can see, I'm looking pretty dewy. So throughout the day, I paid attention to my complexion and I took a couple of notes. So I have a couple of pros and a couple of cons. We'll start out with the pros and then we'll move into the things I didn't like so much about this. One thing that was kind of interesting that I noticed throughout the day that I loved, and it might be kind of strange, but I loved how it felt on the skin. I felt like it was almost a skincare product where my skin felt really fresh when I had this on, and I noticed that throughout the day. I really enjoyed how it felt on the skin, so that was a pro. My second pro would be I feel like for the most part it stayed put. Besides like right here underneath the nose, which this is typical for a lot of foundations for me. Foundation tends to break up around that area always. But other than that, I feel like even though things got kind of dewy, nothing really slipped around besides around my nose, I should say. Okay, so let's talk about the cons now. So definitely, as we talked about when I first applied them, I did feel like it kind of clung to certain areas. But I feel like as I wore it throughout the day, these areas that looked really intense upon application kind of melted into the complexion and looked better in a lot of ways. And I feel like there's a resemblance between this and the original powder formula in the sense that that's the same kind of thing that happens with the powder formula. Things just tend to look more and more dewy throughout the day. And a lot of those drier areas that show up when I first apply the powder formula can sometimes kind of melt away throughout the day as I wear it. And then the second con that I wrote down was it got very dewy, which is not, a con for everybody, but for me, it's something that I want to point out because I love a good radiance to the skin, but in the T-zone, I tend to get oily, and clearly this did not really balance out my oils that well. So that's something to pay attention to as well. Now, I wanted to also mention that before I film foundation reviews, I never watch or read anybody else's reviews, but because I had so many different things with the clinging and just kind of a strange first impression when it came to my application, I looked up a couple of videos and I found that a few people said that this foundation doesn't really layer up well. So I'm wondering if that was what part of my issue was upon application, was that I kind of treated this like any other foundation in the sense that I felt like it would layer up, and maybe that's just not the case. So in the future, I'm gonna try and see if my opinion changes or if things change depending on how I apply it. So I'll have to try it in different ways in the future. But based off of my first impressions, I'm honestly not super floored by this foundation, which is surprising to me. It's not the worst thing I've ever put on my face, but it's not like shocking upon first impressions. But after hearing, some of the things that I probably could have done wrong, I'm going to give it another shot. But as of now, I'm not gonna tell you guys that you need it, if that makes sense. I personally really enjoy the powder foundation from bareMinerals, and I actually feel like the Complexion Rescue foundation stick wears a little bit better on me than this one did. With that being said though, when I do foundation tests, I don't touch up my foundation at all where normally I would. So that is something to also note. In fact, maybe we should try that out really quickly. Maybe I'll take a little bit of my Thrive Cosmetics powder and I'll just kind of touch up the T-zone a little bit to see the difference. So let's just touch up one side to kind of see how it would look if I were to touch things up like I normally would, because I do get oily in the T-zone always, no matter what, with every foundation that I wear. Okay, so clearly when I touch it up with a powder, it freshens up beautifully. You can see the visible difference between both sides. So honestly, it may just be learning this foundation a little bit more and figuring out how it wears and the longevity that it has on me and my skin, because I feel like that actually really freshened things up nicely. So that's good to know, and I'm definitely going to remember that the next time I wear it. But yeah, overall, based off of today's video and today's wear test, is not my favorite foundation, but I am going to give it another shot, and I will definitely come back and tell you guys if I discover a better way of wearing this, or, you know, once I become more familiar with the formula after wearing it a couple of times, I will be able to have a more solid opinion. But as of now, I would definitely hold off on purchasing this if I were you. If you're somebody who's been really interested in it, at least if you're waiting on my opinion, I'm going to give this a couple more tries before I give you guys a full green light on this. I feel like this year I've become extra picky with foundations because there have been so many amazing launches this year. So I look for specific things now. And so even if something is really good and it looks okay on the skin, like honestly, my complexion looks okay right now. If it's not flooring me, it's hard for me to like get super excited about it just because I feel like I know too much when it comes to foundations. I've tried too many, so I have a lot to compare this to, if that makes sense. When it comes to the concealer, I actually really did enjoy the concealer. I'm not going to go too crazy in a review on this because it doesn't launch until March, so I'm going to keep playing with that. And, you know, we'll see if it sticks in my routine. You guys will know if it sticks in my routine. I'll definitely make sure to update you guys on that as well. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I know sometimes these foundation reviews can be a little funny at the end if, you know, it's something like this one where I'm going to need more time with the product to really figure out the formula. But regardless, I hope you guys found this helpful. I would love to know if you guys picked this up. Right now it's only available on QVC, but it's going to be available on the bareMinerals website later in December. So I found that information after filming the first half of this video. So if you guys pick it up, or if you have already tried this, I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. I'd also love to know, if you didn't pick it up yet, what you thought about how it looked on me. And if you guys would want to see me try to use it again, or if you're not even that interested in it, let me know. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments down below. If you're new here, hi, my name is Allie, and I would love for you to join the family. You can do so by hitting the subscribe button. And if you're already a subscriber but you want to be notified on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, click on the bell after you subscribe and you'll get a notification every single time I post. That's it from me today. I hope you guys have an amazing day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Love you. Bye.